Yo, Ohio, welcome or welcome back. Notice anything different? Correct, it's been a while, but I'm back with one last spooky video before December. Today we'll be turning spooky, creepy, and somewhat comfy liminal spaces into cute girls. I know it sounds a bit outlandish, but most of my portfolio and artwork is just cute girls and cute outfits, so play your strengths, as they say. I think that's what they say. And if you're wondering, saying, Fro, what the turkey-loving hell is a liminal space? Don't worry, I got you, brother. So you're wondering, what exactly is a liminal space? Well, let me tell you, you for sure have seen these places before. At least you think you have. Liminal spaces are transitional or in-between places that can be both physical and psychological, often invoking feelings of eeriness, unease, and nostalgia. Places like hotel corridors, an empty stairwell, or an abandoned shopping mall. These places are usually desolate and dimly lit, creating an underlying unease feeling. However, they are also strangely comforting in a way, like you've been here before, maybe in your childhood or even a past life. Some of the most popular ones feature the pool rooms, the suburbs, and the most infamous of all, the backrooms. Yes, the backrooms themselves, which I know, you know. I can tell you more later on. On to the speed dates. The Backrooms. One of the most well-known images of liminal spaces, to the point of multiple games, Reddit forums, wikis, short films on YouTube, and even a Hollywood movie on the way, which is totally crazy. Hate when Hollywood get their grubby little hands on something niche. Anyways, you can even say it's one of the many faces of liminal spaces. The backrooms, or specifically the lobby or level 0, consists of a maze of hallways on end with decrepit old yellow wallpaper, blazing fluorescent lights that drive you crazy, and musty, damp, wet carpets, with the chance of cryptic messages and an unknown black substance on the wall. The backrooms originally gained popularity around the start of quarantine back in 2020. The origin of the image goes back to a 4chan post sometime around 2019, talking about the eeriness of the photo. Although the origin of the image itself can date back way further than 2019, though I can't remember the exact details. However, liminal space / backroom content creators Jaden Salads or Brugly alike could tell you exactly where it's come from, because I don't know. Jaden actually has a really interesting series on finding the origins of popular liminal space photos, and in them he of course goes over the infamous backrooms. The history behind them is actually pretty interesting, and he did a really good job finding and sourcing his info, so you should watch the series if, you know, you're as unhealthily obsessed with liminal spaces as I am, because it is what is inspired this video. Also, he actually visits the actual backrooms in like real life where the photo was taken in another recent series of his with Brugly. So anyways, for this character design, I wasn't sure where I was going because I didn't want to disappoint for the most infamous liminal space image ever. I knew I wanted to use the iconic researcher hazmat suit that you usually see as an avatar for one of the games, that I obviously yassified, cuntified if you will, with the gas mask and a super cool punk hairstyle and some spooky black markings on her suit and skin, with some classic almond water to get you through the level. I imagine this entity would obviously inhabit the lobby or level 0 and be somewhat helpful and possibly non-hostile. I came up with the name Drone, as in worker drone, because I thought it was clever. This entity would probably try and guide you in an innocent yet eerie, creepy way, probably trying to help you find the exit, and would get mad if you try and go your own way. Now, if they're actually helpful is debatable. They probably speak in a freaky, incoherent, muffled voice because of the mask, like a pilot on Spirit. But anywho, here's the final design. Find them on level 0, if you dare. Now, this liminal space is definitely not as infamous as the actual backrooms, but it is one of my favorite type of liminal spaces to look at just because of the pure serenity vibes of the image. This liminal space usually consists of a train car or a school hallway where the floor is completely lush grass with the overgrow of beautiful flowers. However, it could really be any room with these overgrown flowers, and I'll immediately want to visit in my dreams. For reference, I specifically chose the train car / kind of Japanese school hallway spaces because, well, just look at this. Hello. I want to be on this train immediately. Put me on a 12-hour ride and I will just sit here and vibe listening to Lamp. I just really enjoy the mix of modern and nature. It's like a great visualization of the balance we should keep with nature. Or it's just some damn flowers in the hallway and it's not that deep and I can shut up. But anywho, since this theme I decided to go for is kind of specific, I sort of already knew what I was going to do for this design. I decided to make the entity humanoid, which is pretty apparent in all the designs, so maybe I'm just not that creative or something. Moving on, I gave the entity a more modern school uniform to fit the school hallway aesthetic, but to keep the train elements, I made her school bag and loafers look kind of like a train car and put some train tickets sticking out of her bag. So I also put them in her hair to look like ribbons, as if she was maybe running late for a train. To implement the flowers that make me love this liminal space oh so much, I decided to make her face fully grass with flowers growing all over her face and some on the side of her head. For some reason, when I was coloring, I was kind of wanting to give her sort of old school vibe to her, like she might be belonging to an older time period and has just been taking the train for centuries. Although with this design, I really wanted her to fit in with the liminal space. I mean, obviously, I wanted her to look like just any schoolgirl you see waiting on the train or in a train car or a school hallway, having a beautiful yet eerie aura to her, considering she resembles a human girl but has no face. For this entity's name, I was lazy and I literally just combined the words for train and flower and got Shinkanhana, which is lazy, I know, but I'm just here to design, man, I don't know. I love to say this entity poses no threat at all and is just completely peaceful and docile, but I'm not sure that totally be true. I think maybe this entity would want to make conversation with anyone who happens to be waiting on the train or in the same train car as them. Given that they've lived a pretty lonesome existence in these trains and hallways, they lure you in with a soft, gentle voice, and you end up talking for hours, maybe even days, with no sense of the passing time. Now, I'm not saying they're evil or anything. The entity probably isn't even aware of time itself or that they tend to go on when conversating. Oh, and for this level, since the liminal space doesn't really have a set level, I just chose the year when the first bullet train was made for the level because I thought it was clever. No? Okay. Onto a bit more recognizable liminal space that is another favorite of mine, the pool rooms. The pool rooms consist of a vast network of interconnected hallways and rooms submerged in a calming, tealish blue water with areas connecting nonsensically and with no clear purpose. Pillars rise from water, staircases lead to deep pits, and light creates irregular shadows. The place draws you in with the seemingly calm blue waters and natural rays of sunshine, but underlying dark areas and deeper waters. They honestly might be my favorite liminal space ever because there's something so relaxing yet kinda scary about them. Anyways, for this design, I started with imagining the hair and what that would look like. I obviously wanted it to be like water-like, flowy, and have like a light to dark gradient, like how the pool rooms get darker as you go deeper. I put the same type of gradient on her hands as well. I gave her these super cute Miku-like pigtails with buns at the top with cute life preserver floaties as hair clips. For her outfit, I was lazy, surprise, surprise, and just gave her a regular swimsuit with a donut floaty. I put on one of those dark circle tunnel thingies that you usually see in the pool rooms on her torso and on her shoes. Speaking of shoes, yes, I did give the water character who'd constantly be swimming in water the platform boots, okay? I wasn't thinking, I only thought that some shoes with the chunky platforms that have water in them would be really cool. Okay guys, I made up for it by making the shoes really cool with mini water slides and stairs wrapping around them. Okay, calm down y'all, calm down. I gave this entity a pretty joyous and playful expression and pose since I imagined this entity would always feel like playing and would draw you in from the relaxing nature of the place. However, the entity is rather relentless in its playful nature, so if you decide to play along, you might tire long before you realize you're already being dragged under. Oh, by the way, I went with the name Dredge as a little water theme name. I thought that was clever again. Now, I'd still say that this entity is only a mid-level threat because I'm sure there's not actively trying to drown you or anything. They just think that you're playing, of course. Anywho, you can find this entity on level 37 of the Backrooms if you decide to stop and play. Last but not least, for the millionth time, okay, let me not say that. Last but not least, the suburbs. Probably the most intimidating of all liminal spaces because of the pure feeling of an endless nightmare of pretend perfection. Or maybe this is just my personal vendetta against suburban hell. But you've got to admit, endless amounts of perfectly symmetrical houses, twisting winding roads that seem to go on one way forever, the deceiving vivid green grass and vast blue skies with zero clouds in sight, yet not a single person in sight. It's so uneasy and deceiving. Some of the popularity from this liminal space aesthetic can be credited to Gabriel Traversat, who, sorry if I'm saying this wrong, who created one of the most recognizable images of subliminal suburbs. If you like, you could look up her work. Her surrealism is really good, and she kind of inspired this whole category of backrooms. It's like that one movie, The Truman Show, which if you haven't seen it, I'm about to spoil it, sort of. The movie has the same type of atmosphere with the perfectly aligned houses and fake paradise environment where it turns out to be his whole world is fake. I bet Def the Kid from Soul Eater might really like this subliminal place, but maybe not because sometimes they're always like alike but not always symmetrical, so maybe he ate it. Anywho, for this design, I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go. I just knew I wanted it to embody the suburbs, just not too sure how. I guess I gave them kind of a 50s, maybe retro style dress and overall vibe with an apron over it, giving it that Dolly housewife vibe. For the bottom half of their skirt, I gave it a white picket fence for a trim. Thought it was clever because, you know, suburbs. For the detailing on the actual skirt, I drew some green hills and a house and a cute little sun referencing the subliminal spaces you usually see when looking them up. I did the same for her shoes as well, with little chimneys for heels, which is so cute. I gave her a cute dolly headband with a tiny house on it, accompanied with the cutest of retro hairstyles. For this entity, I decided to name it Housewife, which you probably could have guessed, but still, unlike the previous entities, this one is definitely a high threat since the entity represents the bright, pastel, unassuming, peaceful suburbs, yet dark, underlying, uncanny, creeping feeling of the place. I wanted her to be the most aggressive and vindictive of them all, having an inhuman strength, the breaker bones like twigs and make you into a pie or something type of strength. You can find this entity on level 9 of the Backrooms. Don't let her out of your sight though, she's fast as fuck. Anyways, I hope y'all really enjoyed these designs. I guess I could have made them scarier or more uncanny, but I like what I've drawn up for now. I can always change them, or you guys can even make your own characters based off these spaces I chose. I'd love to see that. I just know you all are such great artists and could probably do a lot better than me. Be sure to let me know who your favorite of the video was. Mine is between the Backrooms and the train car entity. They were so cute. I love them so much. I was honestly jokingly thinking of naming them all Backroom Baddies and having that be the video title. I promise you that wouldn't have actually been it though. Whatever the title turns out to be. Definitely not that. Anyways, got some more videos coming soon. The next one should be finally me uploading drawing your guys' OCs, which I'm excited for because you're all so creative. They came out great. After that, on to winter bits. Oh, and did you guys notice my new look? So do you love it or do you really love it? Anyways, see y'all in the next one. Bye.